everyone, and welcome back to Scientifically Speaking. This is Darian of Lab Shenanigans, and today my guest is the Haley Levi. And also, what are your pronouns?
She, her.
And she is a third-year PhD student. Holy moly, you're a third-year PhD student at the University of Alabama at Birmingham. She also founded and runs Black and CMD Bio, and also does science communication at chaoticallyscience. Wow, wait, you're a third year. Holy moly.
I'm starting my third year.
It's so crazy because, we both applied to grad school at the same time, right?
Yeah, I know.
And so it just blows my mind that, okay, for those that don't know, I am not in grad school. You know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I tried deferring for 2 years. And then my department, they're like, okay, you can defer for 1 year. And then I was like, okay, can I actually defer for 2 years? And they're like, after the first year, they're like, LOL, no. And I was like, don't worry, I'll just reapply. Cool. Holy moly, you're a third year. How's grad school so far?
Grad school is grad schooling.
Oh, I feel that was a lot of emotion to unpack.
It's grad school. So like you have your highs where you're like, I'm getting everything done. I can relax on the weekends. And then you have those moments where you're like, I am working like 80 hours this week and I barely have time to sleep, let alone cook for myself or do anything else.
Girl, those days, McDonald's all the
way. They pay $15 an hour now.
Wait, really? Ooh, honestly, wait, that's like the salary of a grad student, right? 15.
They pay me $15 an hour for 20 hours of work a week. So
do you get a stipend or do they pay you hourly?
It's a stipend.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But if you do the math, you're like, oh, that's 15 hours for 20 hours of work they're only paying me for. So
yeah. Also, this is what I learned. One of my TikTok friends does like finance. What's his name? I think Finance Humphrey, something like that. And he was like, oh, if you're getting paid hourly and you want to know what the salary is, one quick way is like, let's say you're getting paid 16 an hour. You just double it and then times 1,000. So if you're getting paid $16 an hour, you'd be your salary per year is like 32,000.
Send me that finance guy. I need that.
Yeah, I know. And that was a game changer for me. I met him through like this TikTok API event like 2 years ago. And then we just all like, everyone who attended that event just like all followed each other. And half of these people or most of these people aren't like science. And so I'm like, okay, well, I generally only follow science people. So after following them, I'm like, okay, wow, I'm like actually learning something. Wow, I guess TikTok is educational. For all I know, he could be spreading misinformation. I'm like just buying it. I'm just like eating it up. But no, he's. But I know, yeah, it's a very interesting thing. And with grad school, I guess my question for you is like, was it everything that you expected it to be?
Yeah, I have to say, I kind of knew what I was getting myself into, just listening to my advisors. Also back in undergrad, I was in something called LSAMP or Lewis Stokes.
LS, like Lab Shenanigans?
No. No. It's called LSAMP and it's like Lewis Stokes Alliance for Minority Participation. Is to prepare more like underrepresented minorities to go into graduate school. And they were straight up like, listen, it is not all sunshine and rainbows. And I was like, okay, that's fine. They're like, you're gonna argue with people, you're gonna get along with people, you're gonna like not like your advisor for a period of time. They're like, it's part of the process.
Yeah, I've heard stories of like how you have to be, it's very mentally enduring and it will test you. It'll like either make it or it'll either make you or break you. And I guess so far, what has been the most stressful thing in grad school for you?
The most stressful thing I think is Like, it's realizing like if you're doing all this work
Mm-hmm.
and realizing you still don't know anything. Like you're doing like I was preparing for my first committee meeting. I was like, yeah, I know this, I know this.
Uh-huh.
I think I'll be okay in this committee meeting. And they still come out with questions that are completely related to what I do.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I don't know how to answer this.
Generally, I think when those things happen, I'll get questions on like my project, and then my go-to thing is, that's a really good question, and I'm not entirely sure. However, I will look into that. That always, I won't say always, that most of the time works. No one has ever asked me like, how do you not know? Well, my old lab, my PI would be like, how do you not know X, Y, and Z? And I'd be like, bitch, I never took in my old lab. I was in a neuroscience lab. I studied biochemistry as an undergrad, and there are like some neuroscience things that like I don't know that you have to like either learn it in a class or just read a couple of papers to understand a certain concept. I never took a neuroscience class, and so there's some basic neuroscience things I just don't know. And my old PI be like, "How do you not know this?" I'm like, "Because I never took a neuroscience class."
Yeah, I fully get it. Like I'm in the CMDB program, so cell molecular developmental bio, but I'm in a vision science lab, which is related to neuroscience.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, it's still like you have to know neuro, and there are some things that I don't get. Like, no one ever asked me, how does an action potential work? Because I cannot tell you how that happens or how it works. And it's just certain things that it's like I've been learning over time, but it's just like I just have to pick it up from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike other people who's like they've been in vision or like they've done vision research before, and I'm just like, oh, didn't know this was the thing.
Mm-hmm. And I did my homework and I was like, what are you studying? And then I found your poster that was published on May 4th, 2022.
Yeah.
And the title of that poster is Dyne dysregulation due to the absence of NUDC leads to mitochondrial mislocalization and dysfunction in rod
Yeah.
photoreceptors. You're like, oh shit. Where do you find that? Do you know where I found that?
Was it I think it's a collaborators of ours website. He's also like a big photographer. Or they also published all of our posters. Or because I won the poster award. There's three options.
Yeah, yep. I think it's actually the last one
Okay.
because on that page, it was only your poster. They uploaded like the high resolution, and I'm like, the high resolution file. I'm like, okay, like you clearly won an award, and good job, good job.
Thank you.
Wait, so how do you win this award? Like, do you have to like present it very well? Is it like based on the research? Is it a culmination of both?
It's a combination of all things. So essentially, they take all the abstracts you get when you submit them. So
Mm-hmm.
we submit our abstracts in January. We submitted all these abstracts. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I think a lot of conferences just to ensure that, like, hey, we want to make sure that everyone, like, a lot of people attend. Submit your abstracts now. Also, sometimes they'll like publish like physical books, and so they need to have the abstracts in time to actually have the books prepared by the time the conference comes around. You know?
Yeah, they did something similar to that because it was a hybrid conference. So it was both in
Mm,
person and virtual. But
mm,
essentially they take
mm.
everybody's abstracts, so starting at the abstract stage, rank everybody's abstracts to say who gets talks and who gets posters and stuff. But if you're a member in training,
Really?
yeah,
Well, wait, so they segregate you pretty much.
there's only so many slots you can give to talks, okay? But if you don't press like the button saying you want to talk, then you'll only get a poster. So it's like we all press get a talk.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I didn't know you had the option. I thought it was like Harry Potter sorting hat. Like you give talk, you give poster, you give talk. I'm making this Harry Potter reference, but I've only seen one Harry Potter movie. It was I know, and it was a long time ago. But I've seen these jokes, memes pop up so many times on like Tumblr, Facebook, TikTok that I kind of get the gist of what they are. Sorting hat is the hat that sorts you
Mhm.
into the houses, right?
Based upon personality and past
Hmm.
experiences.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I don't watch Harry Potter, but based on the stuff that I know, I think I would be a Hufflepuff.
You look like a Hufflepuff.
What is a Hufflepuff? What does a Hufflepuff look like?
So like Hufflepuffs, they tend to
Gay, flamboyant, faggy. Not in the middle of Pride Month.
Stop it. So Hufflepuffs, they tend to be like very like kind and when
Gay. Okay, I want to stop.
fine.
Like the Hufflepuff is like, oh, like Hufflepuff is like nothing but like a house full of just gay guys, like all on Grinder. We're just like pumping it up. We're just all like hooking up with one another.
What is that? Love Island? No.
I was thinking Fire Island. You know what
Yeah,
Fire Island is, right?
I just heard about it 2 weeks ago.
They made a movie on it or about it, and I haven't seen it yet. Well, I tried watching the first 5 minutes, and I could not continue watching. But I think it was like a long day. I just came home from lab, and I was just exhausted. But I think once I'm in like the right state of mind, when I'm like fully relaxed, then I would be able to watch it. Okay, I'm
No.
sorry. Go back to Hufflepuff.
Hufflepuffs, they're like very kind and like they're known for like their loyalty. So it's like you can always depend on a Hufflepuff.
Mm.
I'm like the other houses, they're like, screw everybody.
What about you? What are you?
I'm a Slytherin.
Slytherin. That's like Malfoy. That's what he's in, right?
Yeah, they're like highly, highly ambitious. That's like what they're known for.
You are ambitious, yeah.
I don't think I'm in there because I'm evil. I mean, I could be, but I just choose not.
Okay, I associate evilness with that house. That's the thing. Because I know that I know that the antagonist of the first couple of movies was like well, he's not really the main antagonist. He's like the school bully or something, right?
Yeah.
See,
he's hot, so it's okay.
Honestly, I could fit in with the whole Harry Potter fan. Like, I just know, like, based off of context clues, I feel like I can just fit in. I'm like a true Harry Potter fan, or at least I could blend in.
I don't think you want to be a Harry Potter fan. She's transphobic.
True. True. Oh my God. Sometimes I'll just go to her Twitter page just to read her tweets as a form of entertainment to see how wrong she is. And did you watch Dave Chappelle's special? The very controversial one?
No, I didn't because I heard it was controversial. And I was like, I'm not going to go down that line.
I watched it, and then after watching it, I'm like, it just blows my mind that he was able to even have a platform on Netflix to state his opinions about the transgender community.
He's always kind of been like that. So there's like certain like people that I'm just like, I know this man is problematic. So I also like try to avoid their work as well. So like I knew Dave Chappelle was a problem. He's been a problem. So I've just kind of avoided his stuff.
Do you watch a lot of Netflix shows on your downtime?
I've been watching anime. We could go down that route.
Ooh, what anime do you watch?
Anything that's going to shatter my heart into pieces.
Okay, I'm basic. I'm super basic because I don't watch anime, and so my only knowledge of anime comes from Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Digimon. I don't even know you consider those as anime.
They are. They are.
Okay, good. Because I think my boyfriend was like, "This is anime," and I'm like, "I'm Asian." So, I was like, "Not you." I was like, "Not you trying to gatekeep what anime is." And I know Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, Attack on Titan. Those are the only ones that come to mind. What do you watch? What do you watch?
Like I said, I watch things that break my heart. So like for instance, I watched Attack on Titan. Kind of broke my heart. I watched Hunter x Hunter and I'm still working on it because I'm at that chimeric ant stage and that stage is horrible. And it's really hard to watch it.
You're at the what stage?
The chimeric ant stage. So like that's one of the seasons and it's like notorious. Like it's hard to get through that season.
Oh, okay.
There's just something that's like different. And you can tell within the first like episode, you're like, oh no.
That is so, I've never gotten to anime. I wish, because I feel like I would have more things that would keep me entertained. But I think the shows that I like right now, or I've always liked documentaries and docuseries, anything that is like in some type of way historic. I'm a little basic.
You're like, I like History Channel and Discovery Channel exclusively. Oh, and science.
Yes, yes. I just watched what's that one documentary or docuseries? It's called Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey or something.
I haven't heard of that one.
You know it. It's like trending number 1 or number 2 right now on Netflix. It's about
I've been watching copious amounts of anime, so much so I haven't opened Netflix in 3 weeks.
I was gonna say like Netflix has anime.
Yeah, but I use Crunchyroll because I'm one of those.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's where you get the true anime. That's where
Yeah, like they're like, we have it in English, but we also have it in Japanese with subtitles on and stuff.
so you want it in its purest form.
Sometimes depends on
Wow.
what I'm doing. I'll probably like watch the show in like the Japanese subtitles the first time, and then I'll like put it on the background while I'm doing other stuff, but I'll do it in English the second time.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's this one anime, oh my god, you might like it. It's called Science Types Fall in Love. There's 2 seasons out now. It's a romance anime about a bunch of like data science grad students. And like they added bio students this semester and stuff, but they're trying to prove like what love is and how like can you calculate it and stuff. And they're just
Can you quantify love?
literally, but also like it's great like science and science communication because it's they have pauses where they're like, oh, okay, what's a hypothesis? And like sits down and explains to the audience these things. Where it's like, I know these things.
Oh shit. Okay.
But yeah, no, they like take the time to sit down and like, what about this? Or what is this statistical method that they're doing? Or what exactly are they doing now? Like what one of the episodes is like, what's the importance of like saliva and you can measure through saliva and stuff. And they go into like the different things you can measure and the different chemicals and like what they do. It's great.
Only thing I remember is that like saliva contains like lysozymes that can break down certain bacteria. I'm probably
I feel like they do because you break down like sugars and stuff in your mouth already.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Saliva does contain lysozyme. Lysozyme is a naturally occurring enzyme found in bodily secretions such as tears, saliva, and milk. Oh, okay, that makes sense. When a mother,
Yeah,
bitch, I'm a
I
mother.
think that's why if you like put bread in your mouth, or, like hold milk in your mouth for a while, it starts to taste sweet because you're breaking down the sugars already.
Oh, wait, let's damn. I'm kind of curious now. I want to try that. Watch like I leave milk in my mouth too long and then like and then I like
Not till it curdles, okay?
oh my gosh. So are you ready for your 3rd year?
No, I feel like it's also like, am I ready to go back to classes this fall? Absolutely not. It's part of the
Oh,
thing.
you still have to go to classes?
Still have class. So my school is very class heavy,
Mm-hmm.
like on the heavy side. Like I've taken like my first year, I took 10 classes in that year.
Girl,
11 actually, including that summer.
what the hell? Oh my god. How? Wait. 10 classes?
Yeah, about there because like your first semester they make you take like biochem, cell bio, and genetics, and they make you take like this other ethics class that I kind of can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then your second semester you take a different class, and it's like those classes run 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And then your second semester you take a new class a month, so that's 4. And then in the summer you take another ethics class, and I had to take this like methods and scientific logic where okay, I gotta explain this to you.
Yeah.
We had this professor and he walks in and he's like, okay, every class, the beginning of class, I'm choosing 2 people. You guys are going in alphabetical order. And you're going to play mastermind in front of the whole class and explain your logic to it.
Wait, what's mastermind?
So it's the game where it's like you have like 4 different colors and you have to like order them in the correct way.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, like the code could be brown, red, purple, blue. And you have to guess brown, red, purple, blue in 8 tries.
What's the purpose of this?
There's a paper that came out. And it's like, like however their logic is supposed to be about like solving this is kind of how their logic is for going in and out of grad school. So they're like, however many tries it takes you to get through everything.
Yeah.
then that's like kind of like every try is like a year of grad school.
What in the name of this is like one of those BuzzFeed quizzes like, are you gay? Take this quiz.
No, and then it's like sometimes he's like, yeah, so sometimes you get lucky. So like on my try, I got lucky because my code was all brown. So I finished it in 4. And he's like, yeah, sometimes in science you get lucky, so then you can finish early.
I don't like this. I think this is a dumb. I wouldn't even say it's a predictor of how well you should finish, how well you can finish grad school. I think it's just by chance, you know?
I think it's more of a like have logic in what you're going to do, because he was asking us like, why did you do this?
Mm-hmm.
So like my first try, because like we had like 5 colors and stuff, I did 2 of the same color on the first one and 2 of the same one on the second one. Second one was completely 0. So we're like, okay, cool. That's saying like, here's some prelim experiments. Okay, here's some experiments you don't work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you go back to what you know.
Okay, yeah.
Because it tells you like if you have the right colors and if they're in the wrong spots, kind of like Wordle.
Okay, so it's color Wordle.
Yeah, and it's significantly easier.
So pretty much your teacher made y'all play Wordle in front of the class to see how quickly you can finish grad school.
Also, he let the class comment on like, is that a dumb move or is it not?
Oh my God, that. I'm thinking like for those students who have like low self-esteem, it would just be nerve-wracking to be doing this in front of the whole classroom.
It's ironic because we all wanted to fight him by the end of it. So we were all just kind of mad and we were like, can you get out of our way and let us do this?
How big was that class?
So like preface, our program is an umbrella program. So it's like we have multiple like themes within our program. So it's like it's 2 themes. It's my theme and then it's our genetics theme because we do a lot together. They also just got rid of the class. So I'm kind of mad that these current students don't have to do it. But it's like we would sit there and it's both of our themes and we would do mastermind and then he would pick a paper, pick a group to present it, and then we would just rip them apart. And then he would give us 2 conflicting papers and be like, who's right and who's wrong. And wouldn't tell us like, so we would like go in and look up like the people and stuff. We're like, well, this person is a National Academies member. We're like, this person's data looks better. And it hurt.
Oh, that's a very interesting class. Like, obviously, I'm not in grad school. How would you be able to tell the difference between 2 papers? Or I guess if there are 2 papers that have conflicting ideas, how do you know to go with which one? Is it just like based on the actual study and how well they conducted it? Or is it based on the person? Or is it a combination of both?
It depends on who you are in terms of how you want to rate this paper.
That was deep. It depends on who you are. Who am I?
Yeah, like if you're the type of person who will like go along with whatever like a National Academies of Science member would say, or like a Nobel Prize member or something, like if you're the type of person who goes along with anything they say versus like, you know, this like a lot of conflicting ideas in science may end up being right. So it also depends on like where you're looking and stuff.
I think for me, my personal preference is if it's in a high impacting journal, then for me, there's more credibility and there's the criteria to get your paper published in a high impacting journal. It's more stringent. And so I would personally lean towards the paper that had to go through all those hurdles, provide more controls, higher sample size, all that to get published than the paper that didn't have to go through those hurdles.
That's what I thought too. And then the paper got retracted. We found out it got retracted. Like a few years ago. He was having us read like older papers too that we can look up these people and stuff. We're like, oh, but this postdoc got in trouble for falsifying data.
T.
You can never truly know. And I guess the basis of it was to always question what you're reading.
Yeah.
And always question what you're doing, which is like the logic behind it. They're like, question everything. He's also the same guy who's constantly asking us, like in my interview, because he's on the admissions committee. I'm not going to tell you who this is, though.
So who is it?
But he was like, why is a PhD?
So who is it?
Can't tell you. No, can't tell you. He's the same guy who asks you, why is a PhD a doctorate of philosophy and not like a doctorate of like biology? Or something like that. He's like, you know, if you get a doctorate of medicine, like that's an MD. So why are we a doctorate of philosophy, and why do we like continue to be one? He asked that in our interview, our group interviews.
Easy, because Doctor of Philosophy stands for PhD, and you need to suck on PhD's nuts. That's what I would say. That's what I would say.
I don't think I would have got in. Oh,
That's how I got in. Cause my the PI that interviewed me asked me the same exact question, and I said suck on PhD's nuts, and then he's like,
"Well, you're built different."
And he's like, "God damn, that was a good answer. You know what? Fuck it, you're in." And I'm like, "Yay!"
But yeah, no, he asked like he's like the very like introspective type and stuff, and he's the guy who always, no matter what, he has a question. Ooh. You don't think he has a question? Well, he has a question.
So how did you answer that question? For who knows? Like, what if there are some potential students that are looking into grad school that are listening? How did you answer it? What if they're like, I want to be like Haley. I want to get into grad school.
Okay, first of all, don't be like me. Be yourself.
Be who you are.
I ended up answering it like, well, it's because you're constantly learning and improving your knowledge. Like it's a constant, like even if you get your PhD, you're still like learning, and you're learning like new things, and you're learning it at a deeper level. And I'm like, if it keeps you up at night, that's your PhD.
That's a good answer. All right, let's do a little bit of role playing, okay? Now I need you to rewind back to your 2019 self of when you applied, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then pretend. Actually, no. Going back to your 2019 self when you had to interview. Well, no, you interviewed 20. I
interviewed 2020. I was the last weekend in February before everything shut down.
Yeah, because I'm like, because I interviewed around. This was late January, early February for me.
Mine was all February because I was like second interviews only. I was like, I am cutting it close with all these schools.
Holy shit. Okay, now pretend going back to February 2020, and I am a PI interviewing you for this grad school program, okay? Hi.
Hey.
Well, Miss Levi, I like to be very respectful, okay? And I don't appreciate you laughing at me, laughing at my accent. Okay, Miss Levi, we here at the University of Shenanigans, specifically University of Lab Shenanigans, we take everything seriously. And I have a couple of questions before we let you into the program. So why do you want to do a PhD's nuts?
Well, PhD, these nuts has always been my dream. I discovered PhD, these nuts when I was 10. And I was like, this seems like a very viable career field that's very like interesting to me. And I just have a passion for PhD, these nuts.
Thank you. Well, how do I differentiate you between another student who has the same exact answer of I've always wanted to do a PhD's nuts? Why should I choose you over that student? Why are you more qualified than them to do that? To be
because I'm Black. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Do it. I might take that one out.
No, you can put it in.
She said,
because they're white and they've never done diversity work, and then you have me who's like done my degree and diversity work all throughout undergrad and grad.
Now, Miss Levi, you just laid the house down. Boots, yes, mama. Okay, honey, yes, God.
I'm gonna start using boots, yes, mama, at the end of my emails.
So instead of best Haley, you can be like boots Haley.
Actually, I say like chow, so like because I saw on like the little, like the chaotic neutral, lawful evil little charts and stuff. Yeah. It said chaotic evil was saying chow.
Chow sounds so like It sounds so like she's international fish. Like,
No, so I have two different email signatures. So if I'm emailing somebody, and this is like on my school email. So like if I'm emailing somebody from my computer,
mhm,
it gives off like my formal like thank you and then has like my like titles and stuff like that there.
yeah.
If I'm emailing you from my phone, first of all, I'm sending a K with a dot. Second of all, or a GIF.
Oh, she's giving me professor vibes.
I send GIFs in my emails. You can ask my PI.
Ooh, I'm always afraid that they will never load or it takes too long to load. Depending on the person, I if it's like a brand
Mhm.
or like my agents, I will say best regards. Thank you, Darian. But if it's like my manager or someone close or like a friend, I'll be like per Darian or bet Darian or love ya Darian. But gifts, I might do that. I might copy you. I might copy you for that.
Let me know how it goes.
Wait, do you use a gift keyboard or do you just like have them saved on your phone?
I use a keyboard.
Oh, what app?
GIF keyboard.
Duh, I'm thinking Tenor. Do you know what Tenor, the
Mhm.
Tenor keyboard app?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No. Make it simple.
Oh, okay. And then
Mhm.
yeah, more recently I started saying boots. Boots, Darian. Slay, Darian. Boots the house down, Darian.
See, I'll do that stuff to the undergrads that work in the lab because I'm like, yeah, or like, I constantly had to send like emails to one of our lab
Hmm.
members, because I needed to print something. I couldn't get my computer on the printer. It's on there
Yeah.
now, but I would be like, hey, I'm hijacking your email right now so I can print this. Thanks, thanks,
Okay.
Bessie.
Wait, did you say thanks, Bussy?
I said thanks, Bestie.
Oh,
I haven't introduced them to Bussy yet. Well, the undergrads though. The not no, not everybody
do
else.
you have undergrads working under you?
Not working under me. They work in the lab
Mm.
though.
Do they assist you in any way?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What do they do? What do your undergrads do in your lab?
So our undergrads, we actually kind of give them like their own project or like portions of projects that they can work on.
We love that. Yeah.
Get them some actual research in. Like this could be you on a paper.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what did you do in your undergrad lab? Oh, I did like pretty like important work. I like autoclaved tools. I autoclaved pipette tips. I cleaned the benches. Very important work.
No. We have somebody that does like transgenesis, so like making mutant tadpoles and stuff. Cause yeah, we have that stuff at our
Mm.
school.
To backtrack, so you make like mutant tadpoles, and I guess what are you like? Are you trying to recapitulate like a disease model into a tadpole, or I guess what yeah what if you know the research?
We can do anything and everything. So as long as you got like the mutant, it's gonna be, as long as you got the mutant sperm to inject
Yeah.
inside the egg, you can do whatever you
Mm-hmm.
want with tadpoles. It's kind of like it's why like frogs and tadpoles they're a model organ when you think about it because it's like you
Mm.
have the ability to like put whatever genetic mutation you want into a sperm and then like select that tadpole for like that mutation. So like
Wait, but I mean, can't you do anything? Can't you do that with like any animal, or is it specifically?
you can do it with any animal. It's just that tadpoles are a little different because they're small and they grow up really fast. And it's also really good for like when you do vision and stuff to look at their eyes because their eyes are like really they're huge compared to like
Mhm.
the rest of the they're it's like the rest of the animals like this big and then their eyes is like half their body.
Okay, I see.
So it makes it really good to look at like eye mutations and stuff in there.
Mm,
Not exact to human models because they're in water, so
yeah.
like the way to take up oxygen is different and stuff. But like our undergrad, he does a lot of that.
Hmm.
And he does it by himself. He's the expert. He has to reteach me. When he gets back, yeah.
My old lab manager in her old lab, she also studied vision, but she studied in zebrafish. So why choose frogs over zebrafish? Is it just like they?
So I do like retina work. Zebrafish can regenerate their retina.
Oh, true. Wow.
Yeah, so like because we do retina research, we can't. I mean, we can sometimes use zebrafish, but like the regeneration issue is like what we have. Never that regeneration would be an issue, but
I
here
see.
we are.
Yeah, that's the part that I forgot to mention that her old lab was
Yeah.
was regeneration.
It was a regeneration lab, wasn't it?
Well, I'm glad that you're able to refresh my memory with that. Have you ever considered looking into like another animal model like rats or mice?
We do. We use mice as well.
Oh, what's your animal model?
Yeah,
What animal do you do research on?
I do mice.
Mm. Do you like it? I love mice so much.
Honestly, whenever I go in there, like use them, my brain blacks out now. So
What does a typical day look like for you?
oh, it's different every day. I walk into the lab, say hi to everybody. Got to say hi to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
We're friendly, and also I get offended if you don't say hi to me. So it's more of a me thing. Walk in. First thing I typically do is check emails, even though I've probably been checking my emails on my phone. But like
Uh-huh.
now I check everything, including the ones I don't want to look at.
Mm-hmm.
And then I sit at my desk and I plan my day. I plan my experiments. So it's like some days it's a lot of genotyping.
Mm-hmm.
Some days I also do cell culture in the lab just to like test different things that we're going to do in
Yeah.
like our other model organisms.
Yeah, yeah.
Some days it's like I'm running vision stuff in the dark, like ERGs, electroretinography.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a non-invasive way to test through the cornea if your retina is working.
Wow.
Non-invasive. All you do is put some gel on, put the wires on, you can test it. And it's like you test different, all like a whole slew of different cells. So like you can test your rod and cone cells,
Yeah.
which is like your cone cells are responsible for like light vision and why you can see colors.
Mm-hmm.
Your rod cells are responsible for why you can see like in dim light. So like if you wake up in the middle of the night, you can still kind of make out like your dresser and stuff, or you can make out where the door is so you can get to the bathroom.
Right, right.
That's your rod cells. He can test like ganglion cells. So you have ganglion cells that like respond when like your rod and cone cells respond.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those are responsible for like sharpness and why you're able to see like edges and stuff clearly. You can test all of that.
Why even go to grad school when I could just talk to you?
No, go to grad school. I don't know enough still. So
do you spend a lot of time genotyping your mice?
I just am because we had somebody who is moving on to a next step in their life. So genotyping is being split up between me and another person. I feel like I'm about to spend a lot of time genotyping.
Yeah, my old lab. I want to say like I spent probably like a third of the time throughout the week just genotyping, like going down to the mouse room, ear tagging them. Wait, when do you genotype them? Do you genotype them, or when do you start collecting tissue from them?
It depends on who needs them and like what ages we're looking at.
Yeah.
So we typically do like we'll go down there a couple of days before we need to like separate the babies from the parents.
Yeah, like P21.
And a couple of days before that. So we do that at P21. But we'll go down a couple of days before and like ear tag and collect tissue to do genotyping. So then because some of our time points is at P21.
Oh, I see.
And then you have me who has time points at like P14.
Oh, what I learned is that start ear tagging them at around P8. That's when they're more like immobile around that age period and their eyes are barely opening, but the ears are already pretty like developed so that you can ear tag them. And then do you collect tissue from the ear or the tail, the toes?
Either or, either ear or tail. Most people do tail.
Yeah, I did tail.
Because I'm such a young age. I think our ear tags are just a little too big. So I do ear punches.
I see.
And do ears. Yeah.
We had like a pretty small hole punch. So I would like punch the ear and then collect the tail. And then we had like a silver nitrate stick to cauterize the bleeding. To prevent it from stop bleeding. And then it just really expedited the whole genotyping process. And then, so I started genotyping them at around P8 and then incubate the tail tissue in like the saline solution and then like vigorously shake it for like an hour. And then pretty much just start genotyping so that I would have the results by either the same day or the very next day.
Yeah, we do a 2 day. So we do our tail lysis like overnight.
Oh yeah.
Also, because we do all of our like with in that regards in the
Mm-hmm.
afternoon, just
I
because it's
see.
easiest.
Yeah. So I had like two different protocols on how to break down the tail tissue. One is like we had
Mhm.
like our clean prep and then our dirty prep. With the clean prep, we had to like, what do we do? We added like the solution and then we also added proteinase K. Do y'all use that?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
yeah. So I'm
yeah.
thinking that y'all are using like the clean protocol, and then you let that incubate, and then the very next day it's like the solution, like the tail like completely dissolves, and then you're able to, and then wait, do you also have to, I believe, like do this whole series of steps of adding like ethanol and like letting it.
So it depends. So I have two different protocols. Our lab uses one because I went to the NIH for a month. I
Mm.
also didn't tell anybody I was going to the NIH for a month, but I did. So if there's like a slew of like TikToks for me where they're like, that is not Alabama. I'm like, yeah, it's not. That's Maryland. So it's like I have the protocol from the NIH,
Uh-huh.
which is actually that's the cleaner protocol. They both use proteinase K, but our current lab is a dirtier one because it's like we need to just turn out so fast.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the dirty protocol that I have. It's like pretty quick. Like you can start genotyping almost 2 hours after you cut the tail tissue. Probably an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah, we just do our we probably could cut it down. It's just we all do the tail lysis overnight because we're like, it's 5 p.m. and we're like, we're not finishing this today.
Girl, I feel you. It's also, yeah, it is
Mhm.
convenient. And especially when you like have so many things going on throughout the day, like you're overlapping experiments, you're attending meetings, going to class and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. Is it like, am I a grad student? Oh my gosh.
Basically, you just got to add more classes.
Right. So that
You're in
that's
a year.
that's one of the things I love working as like a research tech is that I'm not required to obviously go to classes. I just spend the full amount of the time that I'm in the lab focusing on my project without interruptions. Well, every now and then I'll like attend seminars and whatnot, and then I'll attend like meetings. But I think that's what I love about working as a research tech. I don't have to go to classes at all.
It's a blessing and a curse. So, like, if you need like a break from lab, then you have class, you have seminars, you have
True. Yeah.
all these other meetings. Like, I'm in a diversity program. So, it's like, cool. We have like bi weekly lunch meetings. They feed
Hmm.
me though. So, I'm pretty happy.
Ooh, free food. We love free
Free food.
food.
Free food. Oh my gosh. That's been like in my first year, I didn't get a single bit of free food at all. I was like, is grad school even worth it? And then I started getting free food.
I'm surprised you even stayed with the program.
Well, they couldn't because of COVID.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not 2020 here. I graduated undergrad and started grad school
Oh,
in the same year. And I was like, I'm insane for doing this.
okay. In my old lab before COVID hit was part of the genetics and neuroscience department. And so every Tuesday
Mhm.
there were genetic seminars and they would always give out free pizza, like good pizza. Well, my definition of good pizza is pretty low. Like I think Papa John's is good. I think
I like Papa John's too. Don't go there.
okay, good. People give me so much shit for loving
No,
Papa John's. Papa John's is
wait.
so good, especially with the garlic sauce.
Oh my God, that garlic sauce is superior.
Like Bussy is creaming right now. Like literally. And they would give out free pizza at the genetic seminars. And then every Friday morning at 11 a.m. were the neuroscience seminars. And they would give out free coffee and good cookies. But then COVID snuck around the corner and then they stopped giving out free food. And so now you got free food. Now this is the most important question. What kind of food did they give out at these events?
They change it up. It's the best part.
Oh,
It's the
oh,
best part. So sometimes we
oh.
get like, like Mediterranean, like tzatziki and like chicken roll ups and stuff like that. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes it's sandwiches.
Mm.
Sometimes is we have a like a nothing but noodle here. So sometimes it's pasta. Sometimes it's a salad. They change up the sandwich places too. So like it could be Subway, and then it could be this other local shop, and then it could be this other local shop, and it could be the Hilton who puts their stuff on croissants.
What?
Listen, a croissant sandwich?
Croissant?
Yeah.
Croissant. Boy, wait.
So
Croissant.
they literally change it up.
Oh,
It's the best. So it's like I'm not getting sick of having the same thing. Now, if it's two different events, they may have the same thing.
girl, hit me.
That's fine. And there's always extra to take home.
All right, so catch me at your catch me on campus in the next couple years because I'm gonna be applying to your school. Wait, so
let me know which program you apply to.
Serious,
and I can get friends to tell you about it. So
serious question. Out of all the schools you applied to, why did you stay with the University of Alabama? Or why did you choose this University of Alabama?
Well, one, I applied to 12 schools and only got 3 interviews. So let's start there. And one of them was there, and one of them was a school in Idaho.
You're a what?
And then one was a school in Delaware.
You're a what?
Idaho.
Can't believe you just admitted that on the podcast. That's, we love that. We love honesty.
I mean, everybody knows. Everyone knows.
That's actually going to be the title of this episode. The episode about the hoe. The episode with the hoe.
Okay, that's fine. But I had interviews at all 3 of those schools. The last 2 were virtual. The first, UAB was obviously, so it was one part UAB was my only in person.
Oh.
So, because the other ones, it's like the one in Idaho wanted me the same weekend as UAB, except I already committed to going to UAB. So it ended up having to be a virtual one, and I was supposed to go over spring break. Obviously, spring break didn't happen here. And then the other one I was supposed to go to May 13th. They emailed us May 12th at 5 p.m. and was like, "We have COVID on our campus. We're canceling all."
What? So like,
yeah. So it was like,
so no interviews at all. So.
Well, so it's like that program was different because they accepted you before they interviewed you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, interesting.
So what if they're like, all right, you're in the program and then someone turns out to be, I don't know, a killer. Then what? Like, LOL, sorry, we're gonna rescind your acceptance.
I don't know. I don't know.
What school is this? Let us know.
I just gave you a state, so.
Wait. What state? What state?
It was Delaware.
Delaware. Those Delawareans.
I mean, it wasn't a bad program. It was also the fact that I had only got into their master's program, but they were like, only because there isn't enough spots to offer. So the original plan for that program was the PhD students and then master's students, they all take the same classes. So it was just a matter of getting through the first year and if you got high enough grades, they'll let you transfer into the PhD program.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, that's like part of the reason why I like went with that school as well. Because it was almost like I had a little bit of security. I was like, because at the time I was like, listen, I had a low GPA coming out of undergrad. Like, I'm real, it was like a 2.8. And I still managed to get into PhD programs with that. So
hey, we love that. We love that. Hey, honestly, I think it'll inspire some other students.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some students who are like, I don't know. Well, hey, thank you for sharing that with us. We love that.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, like I had the low GPA, but it's like I had the undergrad research and the letters of rec and CV to like make it look better. And I was like, yeah. And I explained in my essay, like, yeah, things happened in undergrad. I'm also like a first gen student. So it's like college is rough, man. So rough. So
where'd you go for your undergrad?
University of California, Riverside. I moved across the country.
Wait, I feel like I know this. Why do I know this? I think because in our initial conversations, because we had met, well, we hadn't like met in person, but
we met online, but I was still in undergrad.
Yeah. I remember. Okay, that's probably okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's a really good school. Yeah. It's a HSI2, so a Hispanic serving institution. So it's like one of the only UCs that's not like majority white. which is also really interesting. And it makes a really good undergrad experience and graduate
Mm-hmm.
school experience, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're really pushing for like a more like of the minorities and the local community to go to college. So
We love that.
yeah.
We love
But
that.
yeah, so I got interviews from those three schools. UAB was my only one in person. But like what really made me okay, so I took out the school in Idaho because I when I applied to this program in Lit, I couldn't find a single black person. And it
Mm.
scared me. And I was like, I don't want to be there first because it was a newer program. Like they had
Mm-hmm.
started it. I think when I looked, they had just graduated their first PhD student from that program, like
Oh,
5 years
really?
prior, or like that year. They had just graduated their first PhD student. So it was like a brand new program. And I was like,
Yeah.
I am not willing to be the first. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just, it's always good to like be the first, do something new, but like you also have to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, for my own sanity, I don't want to do this.
I feel you.
Though the research was great, but I was like, for myself, I can't do this.
I feel you with that. Like my undergrad experience. So like my high school is like predominantly African American, Hispanic, and we had a lot of Asian people too. And I think I was just very used to that environment. And then when I went to college, the University of Texas at Austin, I was not familiar of being on campus with this many white people. And it just felt different. But I'm glad that I was able to find like my community of like other Vietnamese Americans that I was like really close to because I don't know how to explain it, but like
It's like a safety. Like,
white people,
yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah, no. And
I feel you with that. Yes.
it was like there also, I looked at their school and it was like 2% of the school is black, but like less than 1% of the graduate school is black. And I was like, I could not do this at that program.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't choose that one, though I did genuinely love the research and the professors I got to meet, like over Zoom and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't do it. And then with the program in Delaware, it was just, the unsafetyness of just having a master's for me, though it was
Mm-hmm.
also an all paid master's. So it wouldn't have mattered.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, they paid the master's students too. I would have had to TA though. And I was like, I don't mind because I want to be a professor. Yeah, I want to create kids. I want to go to academia. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me. I'm crazy. But yeah, and then I ended up coming across UAB, and like the thing that came across was one. I have a lot of family out here,
Mm-hmm.
extended family. And then my dad is like from out here. I have a set of
Mm-hmm.
grandparents 2 hours away. So it's like one part I have family here, unlike the
Mm.
other places. The other part was I had visited here prior to my interview. So, like, with
Mm-hmm.
having family here, I'm constantly like
Right,
in
right, right.
Alabama. So, like, the fall before I came, I actually sent out a tweet and was like, hey, does anybody go here? I just want to like talk to you guys in person and maybe see the campus. I had two people, Jasmine and Jason. Love them to death.
Shout out to Jasmine and Jason.
They shout out to Jasmine and Jason. Honestly, they're part of the reason why I came to the school. But they responded, and not only did they have lunch with me, they had lunch with my mom, and was able to explain to her slightly better than me. Like she'll be safe here. She'll be doing a PhD. What is a
Aw.
PhD? So I'm happy. Like I had people who like complete strangers, other than we followed on the internet, was like they would take the time to sit down with her
Yeah.
and me, and then took me around and stuff, and was like,
Aw.
hey, like I'm gonna keep it real with you. Don't be with this person. And that was like the other thing too. So they did
Mm.
that, and then also on interview weekend that happened. So they're like, hey, on the DL, not this person. And it's like they keep it very real here, which is what I like.
I love it. Sometimes like interview weekend, it's really hard to get students to tell like you the truth about some things because they have to really sell the program to you. So obviously they're only going to tell you the good things. And sometimes like I have to go out of my way, reach out to students who I did not talk to during the interview weekend and be like, yo, like for realsies.
What's actually happening behind the scene. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like overall, this is like a pretty good program, in my opinion. I was like, I've been pretty happy here. Can't say all happy because that's life, but it's like, it's my pros outweighed my cons quite a bit.
That's good. That's
So
good. I hear a lot of stories about like ups and downs in PhD, and I think I say this with everything. Like, I think we just have to go through these hardships.
Yeah.
If someone were writing a story about you, this is your character development story,
This is this is my character development arc. I thought
Yes.
that was for undergrad. Turns out no.
Well, Haley, thank
Yeah.
you so much for being on this episode of Scientifically Speaking. Before you leave, is there any advice that you'd like to give to our listeners?
Ask all the questions. Just ask them all.
Yeah.
Make people uncomfortable asking questions, but just do it.
Do it. Yes. It does not hurt asking a question. And we've heard the saying so many times, there's no such thing as a dumb question. Ask questions.
Yeah.
Especially like during your first couple of years, because I know in grad school, you're not going to know a lot of stuff. So just ask away. Ask the experts.
You're never going to
Yes,
know
true,
enough.
true. And Haley, if my listeners want to follow you, where can they follow you? Where can they find you?
You can find me on most major platforms, minus Amazon. But I go by Chaotically Science. So you can find me on just that together. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram. On Twitter, you can find me if you type in Chaotically Science, I should still pop up. But my @ is actually Dr. Pepper is 100 because I love Dr. Pepper. Please send me Dr.
Well,
Pepper.
that's problematic. Who likes Dr. Pepper? I'm just kidding. You're the second person I know that likes Dr. Pepper. My cousin loves Dr. Pepper. I'm a Coke kind of girl.
So you don't love Dr. Pepper?
No, I don't. I like.
Have you tried the zero sugar one? That one's really good.
I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it today. I'm gonna go to a little store.
Okay.
And I'm gonna buy me some Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. And then I'll write my reviews about it. Okay. I'll let you know. All right. Okay. Well, thank you, Haley. And I hope everyone, all my listeners, have a wonderful day. Alrighty. Bye, y'all.
Bye.